Hi teachers, let's take a look at what you're going to be expecting your students to do when it's time for the Columbus Zoo project happening later on in May. For the veterans of this project, you've done this before, there are very few changes to what we've done in the past. Just want to remind you that there's a group leader meeting May 10th after school, so we can have finalization on who's going to be in your group, and then we'll have an understanding more about who's going to be on what bus and things like that. So the group meeting for group leaders happens May 10th after school. Everything else is pretty much the same. So if you are a veteran teacher and you've been a veteran of this project for some time now, you can feel free to log off and await more information later. Or if you want a refresher, or if you are new to the project, you're going to want to stay tuned to the rest of this video so I can give you some details about the most important things that you're going to need to know and just keep you up to date on what's happening. So before students leave, pretty much they're going to need two of these papers that I have here in front of you. They're going to need to have two of these. One pair will get two of these, and what the students are going to do is they're going to investigate the zoo. They're going to find animals in the zoo that live in the same biome. Here's probably the biggest roadblock to success for our students in this project. They think that because the zoo is set up in continents or areas of the world, that qualifies as a biome. For example, they'll go to Africa and they will look at the giraffe and some other animal in the Africa section, and they will think, well, because these two animals were in the Africa section, they must be in the same biome. That's not the case. Just because an animal is in North America doesn't mean it shares the same biome as some other animal in North America. The biomes are things like, I think I moved my paper. Here we go. The biomes, the examples of the biomes are tundra, grassland or savanna, deserts, the ocean, deciduous forest, coniferous forest. These areas on these continents that experience different climates is really what helps to make a biome. How much rain it gets a year and what its temperature structure is like in a year. As we know, California doesn't get the same climate as Ohio. So just in those two states, we have two different biome types, and more likely than that, more different biome types. So just because an animal is in Australia or the Pacific Islands doesn't mean it shares the same biome as another animal in that same section of the zoo. So you will get a copy of a map that you can share with the kids in your group that remind them, well, look, if we're in Africa, there's 4 or 5 different biomes in Africa, so make sure that the students know, try to find if they can, where in Africa these animals are found so they can have a better idea of whether or not these animals share characteristics because they're in the same biome. So that's the biggest obstacle. Make sure we help our students as much as we can. Have them focus on getting 2 animals that live in the same biome. You'll have a map. The students will be shown this map. It'll be made available to them electronically, so if they're carrying their phones around at the zoo, which they will be, they'll be able to call it up on their phones. So we're trying really hard to help them overcome this first obstacle of really knowing what a biome is. After they've done their research and filling in this paper here, what's going to happen is they're going to take this information and come back to the class with it, and they're going to use this information to construct a super species. They're going to take 3 adaptations from one animal, 3 adaptations from the other animal, and they're going to kind of make a Frankenstein's monster of a super species. They're going to draw it on a large piece of paper that we'll provide. They need to label and include the adaptations on the super species that come from these 2 different animals. Then they are going to be given a challenge once they've made their animal. The challenge is going to be there's an environmental change that's happened in their biome, and the question becomes, with the adaptations you've already chosen to make your new super species, do you feel that your animal will or will not survive the adaptation or the environmental change? So once they have come up with a claim and they can think about their evidence, they're going to be, the pair of them are going to be able to be given one of these, and they are going to write out their, let me see if I put it in there, there we go. They're going to write out their answer, and then it's going to be a paragraph, at least maybe 2 paragraphs, and both students are going to put their names on this paper, and both students are going to put the names of their English language arts teacher. Those papers, when they're done with their paragraphs, they're going to come back to you as the group leader, and we're going to, as group leaders, put these in the right English language arts mailboxes in the office. Try to be equitable about, if you have a number of, say, Miss Wilson, try to split those up with, you know, another teacher who will, names will be on this list. So try to make them as even as you can so no one gets overloaded with all that good stuff. Their poster is going to be graded by Mrs. Spencer and myself. And this is how we're going to grade it. We will just carry around a half piece of paper here, and we have some criteria, and we're just going to check. For the example, let's see, it says your animals are from the same biome. I think this says, as I'm trying to read it back and forth here on my computer screen. Are your animals from the same biome? Complete and accurate? Just complete but not accurate, or neither complete or accurate? We're just going to make check marks and tally up the totals, and that will be a science grade. So there are 2 grades for this project. Science grade, English language arts grade. We, Mrs. Spencer and I, will take care of the animal poster grades. Now on the poster, well, their animal should be prominent on the poster. On top belongs the students' names and the name of the superspecies. On the bottom belongs, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. On the top is the superspecies name. On the bottom of their drawing is the student's name and the biome from which their superspecies was created. On the paper, also on their poster, all the adaptations need to be listed and labeled. No taking home projects. Group leaders, in your rooms when they return from the zoo, we are responsible for supplying them art supplies because they need to include one 3D element to their poster. So pipe cleaners, googly eyes, just another piece of paper cut out and taped so that it's a flap, maybe for an ear or a wing or something. Feathers, cotton, whatever you have. Try to bring some extra things. I've got yarn in my room. Kids will be using yarn and construction paper and some gold stars and maybe some Minion stickers if I can find any of those. So try to provide something that they can use to make a 3D element on their poster. Finally, hang these posters up before you leave that day, because Mary and I are going to go through and we're going to start tallying those up the following morning. So all these need to be hung up outside the classroom when they are done. I believe I have covered everything that I've been asked to cover. There will be 2 videos that you're going to want to show the day of the zoo trip. One is labeled Zoo Trip Before. That's the one all the students see. It's a slideshow. I'm narrating it. It's very quick. The second video will be for what those students are expected to do after the zoo. So show them the video before we leave. I'll have instructions on bus and on what they're supposed to do at the zoo. Then there's another video called After We Get Back. Show them that video after we get back. It will tell them exactly what is expected of them, so everyone doesn't have to go through different spiels and you're taking your time to do that. The video will explain it all. We will have more specific information about buses and groups at that May 10th meeting after school, so please make sure you try to plan to attend. I believe that's everything. Dana and Mary are leading this zoo project. Please thank them for all their hard work, and I thank all those who are also involved in doing a lot of the other pieces at their direction. So thank you for putting this on and for helping us out and making sure it's the best that we can make it. More information is coming. Thank you so much, and good luck with the trip.